Sewing machine has 8 different styles of buttonholes, and they're all one-step buttonholes, which makes it so much easier. And particularly if you're making a whole row of buttonholes, so it may be for a blouse or on a cushion cover, they're all going to be exactly the same size because the foot that you're going to use actually measures the size of your button. So this is how it works. It's got a little gauge at the back that you're going to push open. You take your button and fit that in between the gauge like so. Now the way that this works, the bar here is where it clips onto the ankle of your machine, and as I've squished the button inside here, it's left a gap here, and that's going to be the size of the buttonhole that I need. This is where the machine will measure the size of your buttonhole, and I'll show you where. So this is a snap-on foot, just like the other feet that come with your machine, so let's just drop that on top here. I'll just make sure my thread's out of the way first. On the side of your machine here is a lever that you need to bring down. Now that lever, as you're sewing, the fabric will draw the foot and the machine forward. The lever touches the second part of the bar that sticks out. Remember I said that's the size of the buttonhole, and it'll make the machine turn around and go back again to the first. So that's how it gauges your exact size of buttonhole. I'm just going to take the needle down and back up again, and just flick out the thread from underneath the foot just to make it a little bit neater. And then I'm going to choose my buttonhole stitch. Now they're all numbered, so from 90 through to 97. Number 97 is actually for stretch fabric, which is really useful if you're sewing on jersey. The circle around these numbers simply means that you can't use those with a twin needle. So I'm going to choose, let's choose the first one, stitch number 90, and then we'll start to sew. It's always a good idea to sew out your buttonhole first on a scrap piece of fabric. If you need that buttonhole to be in a specific place, which of course you're going to, at least that way you can say exactly the size of the buttonhole, and then you can measure it and place it where you need it. So I find that a little bit easier anyhow. So when you've measured and you've marked, put the foot down, put your foot on the foot pedal, and away we go. Now you'll see the machine sews backwards in a straight line, and then the zigzag stitches as it comes forward. It's doing it again now, straight line going back, zigzag stitch going forward. And there is a reason for that. The stitch underneath, the straight stitch, actually strengthens the buttonhole, so the zigzag goes over the top. And the second reason why you have the zigzag coming towards you on both accounts is that if you're sewing on top of a fabric with pile, it's going to flatten the pile in the same direction rather than opposite directions. Now when the buttonhole's finished, the machine will stop. So my foot's actually still down to the floor, but the machine has actually stopped because it knows that it doesn't need to go any further. So let's take this up. The needle stops in the up position as well. Let's snip off our threads here. And from the back, and there you can see you've got a perfect buttonhole every single time. You can adjust the width of the buttonhole slightly if you needed to as well. All you're going to do then is to take your quick unpick and very carefully push it through the centre of the buttonhole and over to the other end. If you're a little bit worried, if you've never done this before, you can always put a pin across the end so that doesn't come through. There you go, perfect buttonhole finished.